YouTube live up. Hi everyone, Jade from Career Journey Professional, helping you to find and land in a career that's aligned with who you are, you enjoy what you're really good at, and getting rewarded and recognized as what you're good at. All right, let's get started. So in December, as I mentioned in one of the video before, I am giving out a free gift. It's my over years of experience I put together to help you to land in your dream job career. It's a starter kit. There are some main principles, some little exercises that you can go through. So the link is down below. Have a link, have a look and download it. And then jump into the topic today. So actually I am sharing one of the statistics and report has been done by the government. It's actually done by the National Skills Commission, the shape of Australia's post-COVID workforce. So it's basically summarizing how COVID has affected our employment for this year, and also projection as in how employment will be changing for the future few years. So I know this is Australia, and I know a few of you are from different countries because I have clients in the US, in the Canada, in the UK, in Asia Pacific region. I know this is a book about Australia, but it's actually a reflection of the general trend of all different industries and all different regions covered. So it's still applicable to some extent. It's good to stay to the end. I will share some of the trend, and I will share a few tips of what worked for my client during this volatile time. Let's get started. So let's review. First thing is, how has unemployment rate changed since COVID? So back in March 2020, if you're watching this a few years later, the unemployment rate of Australia definitely increased. It's a sharp increase up to 6.7%. However, the market has been rebounded. It's actually been doing good. So it's changed, it's raised back to 5.3. So I mean, there are less people employed from March to October, back to 5.3. Now, if you do read the news of unemployment rate, in, for example, Italy, Spain, Europe, America, 5.3 or even 6.7, it's not a bad thing at all. There are countries who have over 15% of unemployment rate. Now, basically, if unemployment rate is over than 10%, it is a warning sign, but 5.3, it's not bad. And if you are in Australia, there is the government job keeper and job seeker support helping you until next year, until March 2021. So do make sure you utilize that. And that is definitely helping the unemployment rate. So 5.3. So the Australian job market is still actually quite strong in that perspective. Now let's look at the most affected employment by age group. So what is the age that has been mostly affected since March, since COVID? To my surprise, it's actually the age group of people from age 15 to 24. There is a decline of over 200,000, job vacancies, decline of these jobs not existent anymore. And the next two groups, people who are from 25 to 34 age or from 35 to 44 age, it hasn't really changed too much. From March to May, there is a decline of over 209,000. However, from May to October, there is an increase of over 105,000 jobs. So basically, there are over 105,000 people getting employed. And it's similar to people who are 35 to 44. So people who are young, just out of college, and people who are in their early stage of their career up to age 30, 44, there's still a robust increase of jobs that people acquired over this COVID time up until October. And what are the changes of employment by industry? So what are the industry that's been hit by the most? As you can imagine, it's actually the worst are accommodation and food services. So travel industry, the airline or the hotel or the tourism are affected the most. And secondly, it's manufacturing, it's negative 59,000. And professional scientific technology services, admin and support services have a negative 39. Education and training had a negative 38. I'm sure you've heard a lot that because people cannot travel, and Australian education, especially tertiary education, are heavily dependent on international students. So it's been affected. Transport, postal, and warehouse, it ranked number 8 as one of the worst. Arts and recreational, as we can see, recreational, we can't really go out as much as we want it to be for restaurant and all the other, bars and nightclubs. And let's look at some of the industry that actually had positive increase during this special time. One of the industry that increased the most is public admin and safety. As you can imagine, people do want to be more safety. It's actually a over 60,000 increase in public admission and safety. The next one is agriculture, forestry, and fishing, followed by financial and insurance services. Like, of course, people are going to hold on to their money. They want to be more secure. So insurance is definitely one of the industry that's increased a lot, and not to mention the healthcare. It's such an increase to a point that it's almost burdening the industry, that they were so desperate needing more people, right? So this is what I want to mention, the most changes of the employment, given that what's the worst, what are the industry affected the worst, and what are the industry that is needing more people. In terms of states in Australia, there are only, South Australia, West Australia, Northern Territory, Brisbane, not Brisbane, I mean Queensland, ACT, New South Wales, and Melbourne, which is in Victoria. There are only 6 states anyways. So the most affected is actually Victoria, because you probably have heard Melbourne had several lockdowns, and which is a negative 4.1% of the employment change. And New South Wales, it's not too bad. It's 3.8. Northern Territory had a negative 5%. So in general, no state has more than 4 or 5%. All the states are relatively doing well, especially Western Australia, South Australia, and New South Wales. Next one I want to mention from the report is what's the most resilient jobs, as in jobs that will rebound very soon once we get out of COVID, which we're looking at the beginning of 2021. A lot of them are retail, as you can imagine. The first one is actually waiter, sales assistants, bartender, barista, kitchen hand, automobile drivers, retail managers, chef, childcare, sports coach, instructor officials, and beauty therapists. So those are the top 10 that will rebound the most, like having a lot of change or recruiting the most people when it goes into 2020-21. And the last one but not least is projection of industries that will going to hire most people or more jobs until 2025. So this report obviously has their own assumptions of how they are estimating or creating this projection. But I do suggest that if you want to have a look, the link of the whole report is down below. But I do believe there's hypotheses and assumptions. So people or industry that's going to hire most people, or the highest increase of employment that's coming up, first of all is hospitality workers, hotel, retail. Second is sports and fitness workers. Third is miscellaneous sales support. Fourth is automobile, bus and railway drivers. Fifth, personal service and travel workers. Sixth is miscellaneous educational professionals. 7, food trade workers. 8, accommodation and hospitality managers. 9, human resources and training professionals. And 10, airline and marine transport professionals. So it will basically be the industry that's been hit the most. But within the next 5 years, they are projected to have the biggest increase in terms of employment, for the reason That is quite obvious, isn't it? Because the whole globalization or the travel or any industry related to travel has basically been on a stop, on a pause, and it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong. So those are industries that it's going to come back. But here, as the video suggested, it's more about the suggestions. What are you looking at? What can you do post-COVID, especially from 2021 onward? What can you do? So from this year, well, I want to still share with you, I still had client find job in their dream job. I had client in the legal force, find top legal firm in Asia, in Hong Kong. I had client in Australia, find communications, medium level jobs. I had client in this healthcare industry, still find client yesterday. I still heard a client got a job offer in December, which is great news. But what I want to summarize here, what I want to suggest here, that can be useful to really stay ahead of the competition, or to really, gear yourself, equip yourself for this ongoing trend of COVID, for this ongoing competition. What can you do? Number one, start learning and knowing how to network is the key. Now, I cannot emphasize how many times or how many sessions I had with my client about how to start building your connection, relationships, network in the area that you want to further develop your career, with the people, with the dream company, with job models that you want to eventually become them. So I do have a networking course that's specifically helping you to start from step one. Who do you find? What are the people that you can talk to? What's the first step you talk? So basically a step-by-step guide, including even the transcripts of what you can actually say. It's in the link down below. It's my signature networking course. I do have people comment it's really helpful. So if you're interested, do have a link down below. If you're not, do start your own journey of how to learn to start networking, build network. It's never too late. Second point of suggestion of what you can do. Recognize, learn, and develop your value-added skills to your job role. How do I mean that? So of course, you need to be good at what you do anyways to be able to stay ahead of the competition. But think about value-added skills to your whole team, to your whole project, to your industry connections, to your manager. One of the examples I can give is one of my clients. She's actually in the healthcare industry, but she is learning to do more social media to get more clients for the team, to get more reputation, more people followers on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube for the whole company, which is really adding value. And that's one of the reasons that she's been seen as not replaceable, at least for the time being. So do start to think about from your whole project, from your whole products and services that you're creating, you're helping the company to make sure that you're in a way adding more value. So think about those skills. And thirdly, it's important to upgrade your career profile along the process. Add the skills and endorsements. And I can't again start to stress how important to create your LinkedIn profile, which is also included in the course that I mentioned above, how to do it. Create your LinkedIn profile, keep it up to date. Anything, any new skill, any new projects you have learned, add it in. Make sure it's up to date. Make sure that you are actualizing this. You are, utilizing this too. It's very important. So one of the things, a little tip here, it's on your LinkedIn profile. There's a section called Skills and Endorsement. Make sure you add that. Of course, there are a lot more in the LinkedIn profile that you can do, but here in this short video, this is what I'm adding. All right, great. It's approaching the end of the year. We'll probably have one more video before it's the end of 2020. Again, I hope you have the best of your, really learn and reflect on what you have done in 2020, what you want to achieve for 2021. If you do have your own career concerns, reach out. There's a link down below to book a career diagnosis chat with me for free. But the availabilities are going to be in January because I'm fully booked for December before my break. I look forward to hearing from you and helping you. I'll see you in the next video. If you like it, do leave a like, subscribe. See you. Bye. Hello, Facebook.